Let's get started, shall we? And Kenya's national football team, Harambee Stars, secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over tournament favourites Morocco at a packed Kasarani Stadium where over 40,000 fans witnessed the intense match. The win propelled Kenya to the top of Group A in the African Nation Championship, that is CHAN 2024 qualifiers. Ryan Ogam scored the decisive goal in the 42nd minute, breaking the deadlock and setting the tone for the rest of the match. However, Kenya's victory came under intense pressure after midfielder Crispin Erambo received a straight red card shortly before halftime for dangerous foul on a teammate, marking the second consecutive game in which Kenya lost a player to a red card. Coach Benny McCarthy tactical adjustment, including resting key players such as Captain Omar Abod and midfielder maestro Austin Odhiambo, paid off early as Kenya managed to contain Morocco's possession dominance. The team remained solid defensively and exploited counter-attack opportunities effectively. With this win, Kenya leads Group A with 7 points, followed by the Democratic Republic of Congo with 3 points, tied with Morocco also on 3 points. Angola has 1 point, while Zambia remains without points. Kenya's final group match is scheduled for August 17th against Zambia, where a positive result will secure their place in the CHAN quarterfinals. All right, congratulations to Team Kenya, that is the Harambee Stars, and of course we shall be keeping tabs with these CHAN 2024 matches and shall be bringing you up to speed with real-time news updates regarding that. Now, at the same time, hundreds of Kenyans football fans were denied entry into Kasarani Stadium despite holding what appeared to be a valid ticket. Now, the fans claim their tickets were already marked as used, preventing them from gaining access to the match. The confusion is believed to have been caused by ticket scalpers who purchased large quantities of tickets and resold them to various individuals. This practice led to multiple fans holding duplicate or invalidated tickets. As a result, many supporters were left outside the stadium, unable to watch the game, sparking frustration and disappointment among the crowd.
Kuna wale watu wenye watuuzia ticket bandia bana. Wasiuze, wameuza ticket kama 1,000. Sasa hivi ni kuonyesha ticket karibu 10. Kwanza ametuuzia moja 300, nikaenda nikatolewa. Tena nikarudi, nikauziwa tena nyingine fake kama 3. Karibu 1,000 nimeshaenda.
Kuna watu wanaenda wanabuy ticket mingi na watokea game. Yule mtu akona passion ya kukuja kuwatch game apate ticket, anaenda kwa online anapata zishachukuliwa zote sold out. So hiyo tuangalie.
Right, moving on now to matters politics. Former Deputy President and Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua has declared that he will not be intimidated by the current regime over what he claims is a plot to arrest him. Now, speaking during an engagement at Holy Names University in San Francisco, California, USA, Gachagua said he has no fear of being arrested and would openly announce the day, time and flight of his return to Kenya so that those interested in arresting him could do so. He distanced himself from ongoing investigations into President William Ruto, stating that the matter is being handled by the American Senate and that it was raised by Americans, not him. Gachagua maintained that he is committed to speaking his mind without fear, emphasizing that political intimidation would not deter him from his cause.
If the fear of arrest was part of my thinking, I'll never do anything. I'll just stay in the house. Every day they discuss me in parliament for 2 hours and say they will arrest me. I just move on. I am not a leader who buys fear. And as I have explained, I think Murkomen is lost. I am not the one who have launched investigations against William Ruto. It's the American Senate. Those issues were raised by the Americans, not myself. So I have nothing useful I can tell him. But if the Americans want me to assist in the investigations, I would, because that's where the investigation is. I am not aware of any investigation on William Ruto by the Kenyan police. Again, Kipchumba Murkomen has been telling us that the National Police Service is independent and they do not take instructions from anybody, including himself. How then can he purport to give instructions to the National Police Service, at the same time say that the National Police Service is independent. When my day to go to Kenya is due, I'll announce the date,
yes,
the hour, and the flight number.
Thank you very much.
So that whoever is interested, yeah, in arresting me can go ahead and do it. And let me tell you, I was arrested many times before the new administration. I never changed my stand. In fact, it hardened my resolve. All those things they are doing, they are just hardening the resolve of our supporters, you know? And I want to tell them, you cannot use criminal justice system to suppress freedom of speech and expression. It's a very outdated practice that was tried by Moi. It cannot work. I don't think by him threatening that he can arrest me can make me not express what I need to. So I'll continue with what I'm doing, and if they want to arrest me, I am a Kenyan, the courts are there, they'll take me to court, I'll go there, and if they have any charges against me, they will prefer them. But as I am saying, I am not the problem in this matter. They know where those allegations have come from. They have come from here in the United States. I just pointed out and said, my friend, don't hide behind China. These are the questions the Americans are asking you. Why did you meet so and so? Why are you interfering here?
Yeah.
So they can go ahead and do what they want to do, but I want to confirm that I don't buy fear.
At the same time, President William Ruto has condemned oppositional leaders, warning them against spreading threats that will serve only a single term in office. Speaking during a Sunday church service in Limuru constituency, Kiambu County, President William Ruto dismissed the claims as political intimidation and reiterated his commitment to delivering a strong development agenda for Kenyans. Now, following the service, the president visited a government housing project in the area, emphasizing his position for improving living standards and economic growth. Ruto urged Kenyans to focus on progress rather than divisive politics.
Wasitutishe na mambo ya one term. Wasitutishe na blackmail ya one term. Sisi ni watu tuko na akili bwana. Watuambie sera yao. Watuambie mpango yao. Na kama hawana mpango, watafute nchi na wananchi wa kwenda kuwadanganya.
Right, moving on, pro-government leaders in Laikipia County have thrown their weight behind President William Ruto's development agenda, urging Kenyans to unite in support for his leadership. Now, speaking during a public rally in Nyahururu, Laikipia County, members of parliament led by Mwangi Kinjuri criticized Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua for engaging in what they described as divisive politics. They accused him of making threats to leak state information, a move they said undermines national unity. Now, the leaders cited key development projects initiated across the Mount Kenya region, emphasizing that such initiatives are aimed at improving livelihoods and fostering economic growth.
Ati wewe ndiye ujulikane dunia mzima, ujulikane Kenya mzima. Baka saa hii uko Ulaya, ukienda kusema atutapatia Ulaya siri za Kenya. Ati wewe uko tayari kwenda kusema siri za nchi ya Kenya kwa ukoloni ya Donald Trump. Ukiingia Mount Kenya region, kazi yako ni kutukana viongozi waliochaguliwa. Bila kuelezea watu ya Mount Kenya region ni kazi gani Rais William Samoei Ruto hajafanya, na wewe ukichaguliwa ni kazi gani utafanya.
Washani niwaambie, mimi nilikuwa Azimio. Semeni Azimio. Nilikuwa wapi? Tukaambiwa tutazimia. Mimi peke yangu sikuzimia. Kina Nderitu Moreithi walizimia. Lakini leo hii mimi na baba tuko ndani ya serikali. Mimi nawauliza, nyinyi mnataka kuhama serikali mlichagua wenyewe? Tunataka kumpatia onyo ya Laikipia County. Sisi ni wa Kenya na asijaribu kutuletea ukabila katika county.
Right, President William Ruto has urged Kenyans to embrace unity across all regions, tribes and religions during a Sunday church service at PCA Limuru. Now, the head of state emphasized the vital role of unity among leaders and citizens in fostering national progress and stability, quoting a Bible verse that states, "Where there is unity, God commands a blessing." President William Ruto pledged his commitment to bringing together all Kenyans regardless of their background. He called on the nation to set aside differences and work collectively towards peace and development.
Kiongozi wetu moderator ametufundisha neno la Mungu na ametuambia ya kwamba Mungu anafanya kazi sio na watu idol ama wale watu wa kung'edhia. Mungu anafanya kazi na wale watu wako busy. Na vile vile Mungu hafanyi kazi na watu waoga. Watu waoga kelele kidogo ikitokea wanazimika. Mungu anafanya kazi na watu wajasiri, watu ambao wanaweza kupeleka mambo ya taifa letu mbele na kazi yake mbele. Kujenga hii taifa letu la Kenya vile mlinipatia nafasi. Na nitahakikisha ya kwamba kila sehemu ya Kenya inajengwa. Kila sehemu ya Kenya. Na nawashukuru sana viongozi wetu wa dini kwa kuombea amani katika taifa letu la Kenya. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie ya kwamba kama kiongozi wa taifa hii nitafanya juu chini, Mungu atanisaidia ndio niweze kuunganisha wananchi wote wa taifa letu la Kenya. Jua ukisoma kwa Biblia Zaburi ama Psalms 133 mstari wa kwanza na mstari wa tatu. Mstari wa kwanza inasema, how good and how pleasant it is when brethren live together in unity. Ni vizuri kiasi gani ndugu wakiishi pamoja kwa umoja. Alafu verse 3 inasema, where there is unity, God commands a blessing. Mahali kuna umoja, mahali kuna ushirikiano, Mungu anaamurisha baraka. Na ndio sababu hiyo kama kiongozi wa taifa hii nitaunganisha wananchi wote kutoka sehemu zote, kutoka jamii zote, kutoka counties zote, kwa sababu hapo ndipo tutabarikiwa na Mwenyezi Mungu kama taifa.
Right, moving on, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has called on young politicians to safeguard the country's peace and avoid actions that could lead Kenya down the path of violence witnessed in other African nations. Now, speaking during a church service, Wetangula urged leaders to exercise restraint and prioritize national unity over personal or political interests. Now, he warned against divisive politics that could destabilize the country, stressing that peace must remain the foundation of Kenya's democracy. The speaker also lauded the recent pact between President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga, describing it as a significant step towards national cohesion.
Mimi nimekuwa bunge tangu 1992 na hii kurudumu ya siasa tumeisukuma na tunaielewa. Vile nyinyi mko kwa mpaka hapa, ndio sisi huko juu tuko kwa mpaka na Uganda. Nikitoka kwangu kuingia Malaba au Luahaha 15 minutes. Na ile shida ile tulikuwa nayo wakati wa ukosefu wa serikali hapo ng'ambo, wakati ule askari alikuwa rais wa Uganda, watu walikuwa wanakuja wanachukua mali yako na kupiga risasi wanaondoka. Kwa hivyo hawa watu wanacheza na amani yetu na umoja wetu. Hao ndio maadui wa nchi yetu. Kwa sababu mkikosa amani, wa kwanza kuumia ni kina mama na watoto. Hao wanaume wanaweza kukimbia waingie Somalia. Mama ukimwambia kimbia, anasema na huyu mtoto nawachia nani? Atakaa hapo aumie na mtoto. We should never take our peace and security and stability for granted. Kwa sababu bila amani, angalia nchi zetu jirani, Somalia, Sudani ndio hiyo naenda, South Sudan, tangu ipate uhuru, hawajui amani ni nini. Ona vile inafanyika huko Middle East, Congo, nchi tajiri ajabu, lakini amani hakuna, kila mtu ana majeshi yake. Mzee Raila, Rais Ruto na sisi zote, we have said this country is bigger than any one of us. Na nyinyi wanasiasa chipukizi, kama Rais Ruto na Raila tunaweza kukaa tukule kwa meza moja, kwa nini nyinyi mpigane? Kwa sababu mzee Raila anaelewa.
Pia sisi siku moja tukae penye William Ruto hako, lazima tutembee pamoja. And so tutembee pamoja wakati wa kazi kama hii, pia wakati wa kura tufanye nini? Tutembee pamoja.
All right, moving on to our churches. After 2 years of bitter wrangles and protracted courtroom battles, Khan is finally returning to the Methodist Church of Kenya. Now Reverend Dr. Stephen Kanyaru has officially assumed the role of acting presiding bishop, marking the end of a leadership crisis that had deeply divided the church membership. The dispute began after allegations that former presiding bishop Isaiah Deye had overstayed his term, allegedly surpassing the age limit of church leadership. The fallout triggered a chain of events, including defrocking, excommunications, and even near physical confrontations that had several occasions forced police intervention. Now, the turning point came during the East African Methodist Men Conference, which brought together congregations from across the region. Church leaders resolved to close the chapter of conflict and embark on a path of reconciliation and healing. Take a look.
Years and 7 months, and he did not want to retire. So we told him, brother, can you leave it? Because you are already retired. You can ask me why. Because our rules say when presiding bishop is not there, the mandate will take over for some time before we elect another one.
Reverend Isaiah Deye attained the age of 65 before his term of office expired.
Methodist Church is called Methodist because it normally follows their own methods. So when the person reaches the age of retirement, he is not supposed to work even a single day more than the days that he has in the office. We call upon all the members of the Methodist Church to unite together and work together so that we can bring our church together and the former glory may be renewed again.
Now, tonight we bring you a powerful and heartfelt testimony from a woman whose search for healing led her down a dark path and painful path. She believed New Age practices would bring her peace, but instead she found herself trapped in darkness, wishing she had found faith in God sooner. This is the story of struggle, regret, and the hope for redemption. Take a look.
While I'm reading this book, I see this figure with a face that is so pure love and eyes that were fire. And he was wearing a talit, a Jewish prayer shawl. And then that figure opened his arms like this and he said, "Come to me." I'm Shiri Joshua. I grew up in Israel. We grew up secular. My dad maybe went to synagogue on Yom Kippur and that's about it kind of thing. My family moved to Canada. It was in the mid-90s. I was listening to Christmas songs one day in the car, being very new to Canada. And I'm listening to those words saying, King of the Jews, Messiah of Israel, you know, stuff like born in Bethlehem. And I'm like, this is Jewish stuff. Oh my gosh, like who is this Jesus? Am I okay to research about him? And then I enrolled in university, studied psychology. But what happened is because I'm such an animal lover, I had a bunny rabbit and he was very sick. So it was time for him to be euthanized. I remember like literally falling in pieces and I couldn't understand my reaction. I wish I believed in God or something. It was like this yearning to have some sort of a comfort beyond what I know in my intellect. And then I got into New Age. It started with learning things like Reiki, which is like an energy healing. And I took the first course and I felt, my goodness, this is it. I found my calling. So I've taken it up to the very final level, which means I could also teach Reiki. And my niche or my specialty was animal Reiki. So I had the psychology background where I would offer pet loss grief. I've completed a master's degree in child and adolescent psychology and also practiced as a trauma psychotherapist. While I was yearning the supernatural, I had a very rational brain that I needed to understand what's happening. You name it, I did it. Crystals, talking to consciousness. I felt I'm getting deeper and deeper in my connection with God. But all along, two things remained. I was quite depressed and anxious, and I was also very poor. Through the New Age, I saw a book. The name of the book is A Course in Miracles. It takes scriptures and twists them as if you're communicating with the consciousness of the universe. But I opened the book, and the book said the word Christ. Now, my first reaction was to toss this book across the wall. I'm Jewish. I'm not supposed to read about Christ. And then I kind of reflected on, hey, why did I just do that? Like, who told me I can't read about Christ? So I picked up that book and started reading it. It kept talking about this world is an illusion. It says things like the opposite of fear is love. While I'm reading this book, I see this figure with a face that is so pure love and eyes that were fire. And he was wearing a talit, like a prayer shawl, a Jewish prayer shawl. That's what I saw. And then that figure opened his arms like this and he said, "Come to me." And I knew that this is Yeshua. So then my intellectual brain said, oh, I know what he meant. He meant go to Israel, because he's from Israel. So I came to Israel, and I kind of said, okay, I'm here. Like, you said, come to me, I'm here. And nothing happened, right? I didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. The sky didn't open up, nothing. And I was like, okay, now what? So I actually grabbed all my stuff and schlepped back to Vancouver and started from scratch. I got myself a job in my field that I studied, and I'm sitting in my new office, very proud of myself, going, God, I don't need you. I don't know what you meant by come to me. You know what? That's enough. I spent 2 years trying to understand what that vision was, and I've never heard from you since then, so leave me alone. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from my doctor to say, hey, you need to come and see me. Got into her office, and she's mute. She's not telling me anything. She's just sitting there. I looked at her computer monitor, and I see carcinoma, and the blood just washes off my face because what happened to the universe protecting me. But in that very instant when I was told you're dying, it really didn't matter to me anymore. So I fell on my knees and I said, okay, Jesus, if I die, I die, but I want to come to you. But if you let me live, this life will be yours and I will tell everyone about you. 2 surgeries, chemotherapy, radiation, biological treatment, you name it, it happened. It was the hardest thing of my life. My mom took care of me like a nurse, and it really humbled me. At this point, my heart is soft. I've accepted that Yeshua, Jesus, is my Lord and Savior, and I felt that I really don't care if I die, because I know I'm going to Him. I didn't want to die because I wanted to live and be here with my family, but the fear of death was gone. So the chemotherapy and the treatment were very, very, very harsh, made me very, very sick. And out of my mouth came this prayer, and I said, God, I think I might be the only Jewish person on the planet who believes in Jesus. But if you know of another one person, would you please connect me with that person? 24 hours later, I went for a walk, not too far from where my parents live. And I come across a sign that says Gate of Zion, City of David Messianic Synagogue, and a flag of Israel. The person who answered the phone, her name is Ronit. And it's a Hebrew name, it's an Israeli name. So that immediately put me at ease. Can we meet? And she said, sure, come. And the first thing I see is a sign that says Yeshua in Hebrew. And I said, wow, it says Yeshua. But again, God is so good at details that even that he knew would capture my sight and put me at ease. They taught me everything I need to know about the scriptures. I realized how Jewish it all is. And I felt so safe that this is not only okay to believe in Yeshua, but like, who wouldn't? They lied to us. Nobody taught me that the New Testament, Brit HaChadasha, is actually the continuation of the Tanakh. I renounced New Age, like that Course in Miracles that I talked about, Reiki, crystals, talking to dead people and dead animals that I thought were very spiritual, actually opened the door to darkness. I realized that not only when I said, God, I don't need you and get away from me, I removed myself from his protection. And then I had this deliverance session. So she's speaking scripture on me and commanding the spirit of cancer to come out of me. And I kid you not, I saw it. And it fled. Like I saw it. And the person who did the deliverance said, I saw it too. So the shed blood of Yeshua healed me and cleansed me. The deliverance, that demonic spirit came out of me. The scripture filled me, and the chemo removed all the cancer cells from my body. I am 100% cured, and I fulfilled the promise. I said to him, if you let me live, I will live for you and tell everyone about you. Of course I have bad days. Of course it's not always easy, but I have Yeshua. I'm never alone. I'm just so grateful.
All right, and that was deeply moving testimony, a stark reminder that sometimes the path we think will heal us can lead us into shadows, but it's never too late to find the light. Stay with us as we continue to share stories of hope, faith, and renewal right here every Sunday at 9 p.m. My name is Macharia. You've been watching Christian World Today. Many thanks for, of course, keeping us company until now. It is exactly 32 minutes past the top of the hour. That's not we wrap up our program here on Christian World Today. Do have yourself a good night, and as always, let's do this again when God says you do.